In this video, we're gonna pit two brands against each other. These are pretty well-known brands. We've got the MiniGT GR Supra on one end, and we've got the Ignition model GR Supra on the other. As you can see, they're both white. They've got almost the exact same setup. But let's take a look and dive into what sets these two apart starting right now. What's going on, collectors? James with Model Cars Houston here, and I'm dropping one video a week every Monday. So if you're new to the hobby, want to learn more about the hobby, or even stay up to date with the hobby, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I do review videos, versus videos, and everything in between, so it's a great way to have all of the brands, all the information, all in one place. And as always, if you're interested in any of these at the end of the video, I'll be sure to put a link down in the description below as to where you can find them.
All right, guys, so here we are side by side. I'm pretty excited about this one because when it comes to pricing, these are on two different sides of the spectrum. You can find MiniGT stuff around like 15, 18. The Ignition model stuff is in the high 30s, 40s range. So just starting with the packaging, MiniGT is gonna come more in this clamshell style type. When I open this up later, I'll show you guys what that looks like. And then Ignition model is gonna come in this nice acrylic case, plastic base with this nice little metal plaque or aluminum plaque at the front. It even says limited edition, limited production stuff on there. So this is a nice way of presenting it, and Ignition model does a really good job at that. Both are officially licensed products, so nothing to worry about there. Both are legitimate products, all backed. Both are limited edition models, as I told you on this one. The only difference with Ignition is they don't tell you how many it's limited to. It's more based on demand. So however many pieces the distributors and resellers buy, that's how many they produce. And then for MiniGT, you'll see that it's got the limited one of 3,000 up here. Both brands, much like any other time they make new cast, you're gonna have a variety of flavors, variety of colors, variety of designs. For example, MiniGT also has the Advan version, for example. The Ignition model guys, they've got this awesome yellow-green fluorescent color one. We'll take them out of their respective boxes and cases and take a close look. All right, guys, so we've got both of them out of their cases here. I even unbolted the Ignition one off so that we can take a look at it more freely. The Ignition one, it's pretty simple. It comes off the base here. It's got a screw that holds it in place, and it's got a nice area where it can lock in place and make it straight. So you just take that off like that. For the MiniGT, you've actually got to cut the side of it here. That's how I do it anyways. Pop that open there and just pull that bad boy out. And then MiniGT also comes with this box here where you can put the little car in and then slide it in there. That's the way you can protect it. So one difference you'll notice immediately is that when it comes to actually putting the car up and displaying it, you've got the case with this one where you can put it together. This one, you're gonna kind of have to more keep it outside of its box and just kind of show it off this way. But if you're a collector and you want to show it off in its nice case, then the Ignition is gonna be far superior from that aspect because you've got the case that you can put on. You can put the case back on like that and then just stack them one by one. So from there, moving on to the vehicles, I'm gonna tell you right now, MiniGT has the ability to roll, as you can see. So if you're into that, perfect for you. Whereas the Ignition model does not roll. It's more of a static model for display. You know, it rolls a little bit, but definitely not one for playing. So we're just gonna start from the front here. The front, we've got Ignition here, we've got MiniGT here. Immediately, I feel like the Ignition version is a lot wider. You can just kind of tell from the front profile here. The MiniGT has different size headlights as well. The headlights on the Ignition model is definitely bulkier. The headlights on the MiniGT, a lot slimmer, a little bit more sharper. You can see that the Toyota logos on the front bumper, the MiniGT is a lot smaller here, right there, whereas the Ignition is a lot bigger. Both have the Rocket Bunny Pandem logo on the hood fender area. You can see here, it's got the vents here on the hood part. on both cars, so all good there. Moving on to the lower valence area, I could tell immediately that the front splitter, front lip on the ignition is a lot wider as well, probably piggybacking off the fact that it's a little bit bigger vehicle. MiniGT did get the details here of the snap-on decal. They also have the quote-unquote vents here that go in from the front, whereas the ignition one does not have those details. The paint coloring, I can tell you immediately, this one's more of a pearl white, and this one's just more of a plain white. So the color offset for a pearl white on the ignition is a lot cooler, a lot cleaner, because it's got the little pearl in it. Now, this is very, very OCD detail, but on the ignition, you can see it's got the front sensors here, 1 and 2, whereas MiniGT does not have those sensors here for the front bumper area. Just something different that I noticed. The Pandem banner on the windshield there, you'll notice MiniGT has it. Ignition does not have it. Moving on to the side of these vehicles. So, the MiniGT, check this out. Rubber side view mirrors, you see that? Probably because they've had issues with it breaking a lot. Maybe they converted it to rubber. Whereas ignition is metal, plastic. It's definitely glued on there. So you can immediately tell from the side that the bottom MiniGT version actually has the Pandem logo here on the side, whereas the ignition does not. Maybe they were trying to just go for a little bit more cleaner look. The wheel sizing on the ignition up top here is a lot bigger and looks more appropriately sized for the scale. Like I said, it does look like ignition is a little bit bigger, so it fits the bill better. I like the wheels on the MiniGT as well, more of a mesh design with a polished lip. Both have rubber tires. MiniGT rolls as previously shown, whereas the ignition does not roll as well. The over fenders look about the same. You can see that MiniGT got the color black for the vent there. Ignition kind of skipped out on that. You've got the flares going to the side here. Everything looking good there. But the stance on the ignition looks a lot better too, almost like it's lowered, as you can tell. Whereas the MiniGT it looks lowered too, but not as aggressive as the ignition when it comes to stance. So for the wheels, MiniGT is sporting the Workmeister type wheels with a polished lip and rubber tires. And then the MiniGT here is sporting the mesh style polished lip with rubber tires. And of course, the wheels spin on MiniGT, and then on the ignition, they do not spin. Now, let's move on to the back. I can tell you right off the bat, ignition model. They missed the Toyota logo right there on the bottom of the spoiler. MiniGT got it. MiniGT also got the snap-on sticker. They also got the GR logo on the rear bumper, whereas ignition does not have those details. I like that the ignition does show more of a titanium tip style, whereas MiniGT is more just the regular stainless. You've got a black license plate and white license plate. I like the detail that they put here on this reflector, whereas this one is missing on MiniGT. So moving on to the rear windshield, you can see it's got the defrost there. Nothing on the ignition, keeping it simple. Tail lights look pretty much exactly the same. You can also see that it's got the red reflectors here, whereas the ignition does not. And as far as the interior goes, it's very hard to tell sometimes on these, but they look pretty close. Well, the biggest thing, and I don't know if you can see it, the ignition here is actually right-hand drive. The MiniGT is left-hand drive, so it's a US spec GR Supra, which is pretty interesting that they did that.
So, question of the day for you guys, which one did you like better? Do you like MiniGT? Do you like ignition model? Let me know down in the comments below with the reason why. Is it because of the way it's displayed? Is it because one rolls, one doesn't roll? Is it because of the price? I think there's a lot of factors here to consider, so let me know down in the comments below and I'll be sure to respond to every single one of those. So if you want to check out some other videos that I've got, you can check them out right here. I'll see you in those videos or my next video.